You have a powerful presence, my friend. I can say this because I almost did not create this video message. And yet, when I paused to tune in, I felt a very strong, clear, unwavering yes, that there was indeed a message to bring forward. And I imagine that this message is specifically for you. This is in regards to the sacrifices that you have made in your life, namely the ones that have been more recent, namely the periods of isolation that you have found yourself in. This specific message is showing up to confirm a few things, because while there has been a profound wisdom in the aloneness you find yourself in, it can oftentimes be of assistance to have additional perspective and clarity as to why we may find ourselves in the places we do. On that note, I'm Danielle Lynn, multidimensional traveler and friend in synchronicity. To you, the raddest of cats, who I meet across time and space in moments like this. Today we're feeling particularly explory. I even have my hat on. Very fun. So, as mentioned, this message is specifically about the sacrifices that you have made that have likely brought you into more shedding, more isolation than you previously have had before. But this is a form of both confirmation that, yes, whether you, as the human being you are, have consciously understood why you've chosen this path or not, there has been a certain level of deliberate intention in bringing yourself here, perhaps even from, let's say, your higher self. So first, let's speak a little bit about the sacrifices and the nature of the sacrifices, in the sense that in your choice, in your deliberate choice and path to genuinely honor yourself and say no to things that no longer resonate with you, you might feel like there is a lot that has already been released. And I imagine, sometimes we release things and we're like, oh, that feels great to release. But sometimes we even release things that we love. Sometimes we release connections and time with people that we love. And I will first say that it is very inspired and inspiring if you have found yourself here on this video knowing that you have made certain sacrifices because deep inside you understood that this was not only the resonant path, but the way to both deeply love yourself through saying authentic yeses and nos, and deeply honor and love another, even if perhaps at the time they didn't see it that way. So that's my first reflection to you. I'll then go on to say that in a very deliberate way, this period of shedding and isolation that you have or had put yourself through was not only intentional for you to refine the connection that you have with yourself within, but to those of you who are specifically drawn to this message, it's also reflecting to you that you are indeed calling in a highly resonant partnership or connection. Now, this might be romantic, it might be creative-based, business-based. What seems really clear about it is that this is a partnership that has been established beyond this lifetime, meaning deep level soul connection, something I sometimes feel like higher selves conspiring and then choosing to incarnate in the world kind of connection. And it seemed like the only way that you could meet at this rendezvous point in reality with this being was to go through the steps that you did in order to, let's say, arrive at a certain place in time, maybe not have certain other people or relationships in your life that might have blocked or stood between that connection. Now, wherever you find yourself, you're in a more clear space and field to not only connect with this person, and in some people's cases, people, because sometimes I'm also getting a sense that there's like a little collective, okay? Whichever boat you find yourself in, this connection that you are establishing and calling forward, this feels very inevitable. That's the first thing that I will say. So it's not something you have to try and rush and hurry and find. So if there's any part of you that feels like you have to seek, this is first offering a mirror to say, hey, what you already want, desire, are inspired by feels the same with you. And you don't need to try harder to connect with it. The more that you allow yourself to ground deeply in who you are, to establish that connection first within yourself, to listen to the inspiration of your heart each day, to listen to the message, to listen to the directive of that inner space each day, the more and more you will easily find yourself navigating the pathway. Because remember, I said there's a degree of inevitability here. So sometimes I say maybe we can arrive at the destination by tumbling down the hill, or we might notice the path and take the steps. Either way, we're arriving. And here is some reflection so that as you coordinate within both yourself and with those you're connecting with, you can give yourself a nice big breath of relief. You can really let yourself land in this moment, in your body and in your own presence. Because as I have mentioned before, if you've tuned into my other messages, this is a resonance-based reality. It's not an effort or pushing or force-based reality. As you resonate, so you magnetize or repel. So tending to your inner state, cultivating, I was going to say creating, but I'm going to say cultivating an environment in which you are more naturally able to be as you are some of the things that you can do that will allow you to have more, what we're going to say, insights, inspirations, likelihood of choosing choices that are easeful and resonant for you in connection to this. This particular connection feels like it reflects certain lifelong visions for you. And as mentioned, there feels like there's this co-creative element or expressive element to it. Something that through connecting with this, you bring a magnificent vision forward. Now, this comes in great part because you are meeting this connection from a place of wholeness within yourself first. Because you're not seeking another to fulfill you or give you something or ease a certain feeling. The more that you approach this particular connection from your own place of inherent wholeness, and again, I said wholeness, I didn't say perfection, I didn't say you got to fix more stuff. It is about anchoring within yourself first as the place of grounding and rooting, and simply being curious and invitational and collaborative with those who come in your space. Not operating from a place of waiting, wishing, wanting, when will they come, when will they come? We can instead transmute that kind of energy into more of a, oh, I'm so looking forward to them coming, and I'm setting the table, I'm hanging up the fairy lights, where we got the piñata out here, go-karts. My goodness, you guys are having quite the party. Can I come visit? And whatever it is that you're placing in your field, I generally invite people to start the party first. Start the party in knowing and anticipation that through you embodying the energy now of having a wonderful time, that's the quality of energy that you're signaling and others are responding to and coming in towards. There's this dynamic in relationships that if we approach the relationship from being, once again, like a whole person in and of ourselves and invite the other to come in with their wholeness, then together we create this very powerful amplifying field that is somehow greater than the sum of its parts. And this happens in group dynamics as well. This happens when we have really coherent groups come together. One of the things that we've been doing in the Self-Alchemy Lab is we do these things called resonance shifts, where we focus together with intention. And for a set number of days, we join up as a group. We join up at the start on a call, and then through the days, every day, we add comments in a daily post. And through that, we notice an individual and a collective shift through that focus of intention. We're actually in a resonance shift right now. It's very fun. We also do these things called intention groups. So we focus on an intention. People can come into this group, and we do it a couple times a week, and as a group, meditate on the intention. So whether you feel inspired to check out the Self Alchemy Lab and hop into one of these rad groups, this is one of the powerful ways, one of the very powerful ways to yes and with another in your reality. So I invite you to explore playing with that in whatever way is alive for you. Because this world is all about focusing and amplifying and playing with what is truly alive for you at your core, not what you think you need to be or what you think you need to do, but what is truly, 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 truly alive for you at your core. I know that especially if you've been listening to these messages for a while, you have really allowed yourself to cultivate significantly your sense of self, your sense of I am. And that's truly inspired, truly inspired. And I'm sharing this from what I see in the frequency field, because a person can hear this and kind of go, yeah, everyone's like this. But I really mean this specifically, that you have a specific code or frequency. It is something truly awe-inspiring. When I think of awe-inspiring, people going like, oh, it inspires them into awe. And it's not that you're doing it to inspire awe. It's just that awe is the natural response when a being allows themselves to connect to the unity in the core of who they are and gives themselves permission to live the embodiment of what they are here to do and be. Now, I will add to that. It's not about an external creation. It's more like the way you're living. I'll give you an example. Steve Irwin, he lived in many ways an awe-inspiring life. And I mean, we could point to something, when he wrestled the crocodile or when he did this, but the truth is, it was just the collection of his various ways of being. Bob Ross lived a very awe-inspiring life. And it wasn't just that he was painting, it's that he had a deliberate intention, a connection, being as he is, being as he was. And in this way, I point to them as archetypes. Not that you must be seen by so many people, but I'm certain you can picture your own people you've connected with in your life that are like the Steve Irwins or they're like the Bob Rosses and their version of it, right? Maybe they're wild creatures, maybe they're a little ornery, but at their core, they're deeply authentic. There is a deep, resonant authenticity to them. And somehow being in their presence, there is a sense of expansion. And that, more than anything we do, that presence and that beingness is in of itself an expression of the great work. And that is what I see you being on the path of. That is what I see you having shared yourself glimpses of more and more so each day. In fact, for some who are tuning in, that is what you're living now. So, my friend, may this message reach you at a most resonant opportunity. May it assist you in remembering just how awe-inspiring you are, how awesome you are. If you, on some level, feel that perhaps the being you are connecting with is in the Self Alchemy Lab, very awesome community, I invite you to check the description link. Check it out for yourself, as it is a very powerful portal. Or simply listen to where your heart points you to, guides you to. And I also invite you to check out the other links in the description. There may be something there for you. In all cases, my friend, I have so appreciated our time together, and I look forward to our next connection.